welcome to PTV World Special. I'm Farooq Patafi. We have been talking about various international affairs in the recent days, but one story, particularly about Pakistan's democracy, keeps on unfolding and threatens to unfold many things, or perhaps fold up many things. I'm talking about Imran Khan Saab's threat that on 23rd of this month, two assemblies of Pakistan, that are Punjab's assembly and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa's assembly will be dissolved. PTI is the ruling party there. So that's why this threat seems serious. Earlier we thought that perhaps the two chief ministers who might not actually want this to be dissolved that soon will resist. But when yesterday Imran Khan Sahab was talking to the media, when he was talking to his own crowd of supporters, at that time he was flanked by both the chief ministers. Although one of the chief ministers, that is Punjab's chief minister, after the speech today in an interview has criticized Imran Khan for criticizing or attacking former army chief General Bajwa. So we are going to actually understand why is it so important that Imran Khan Sahab actually wants to dissolve the assembly, and what can be achieved through that, whether it entails that if there is going to be an election in Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa within the next 3 months, as is supposed to happen, will it also mean or necessitate an election at the center? Secondly, whether his threat means really something, because many people, especially the government of Pakistan, kept on complaining, these spokespersons of the ruling parties kept on complaining that if Imran Khan Sahab actually wanted to dissolve these assemblies, he could have actually brought the assemblies in yesterday's event and could have announced that then and there that the assemblies are dissolved, but that didn't happen. That opens the door for a vote of no confidence in both the provinces. But why is it that finish these assemblies completing their terms, and the Federal Assembly as well is also very important? We are going to talk about all these matters. We are going to ask all these questions, and let me introduce the panelists that I've got today. In the studio, I've got Agha Iqrar Haroon, who's a political analyst of renown. Thank you very much, sir, for being part of the program. On Skype, we have Javed Jadoon Sahab, senior journalist and whatnot, a very experienced person. Thank you very much, sir, for being part of the program. Barrister Humayun Sarfraz Chattha also joins us from his first title, as it is quite apparent, he's a legal expert. Thank you very much, sir, for being part of the program. Let me start with Agha Iqrar Haroon Sahab. Your take on Imran Khan Sahab's promise that they are going to dissolve assemblies, and what does it mean for the country?
Look, it will cost around 28 billion to 30 billion rupees if we go for not by-election, and a refresh election of both provincial assembly, first of all, if you talk about economically. And you understand the situation, economical situation in Pakistan, we are almost in the ICU. So it would be very heavy economically. And if you talk about politically, of course it will have an impact. And the message that is already going outside Pakistan, that Pakistan is still an unstable country if you talk about it politically. And this message would be definitely consolidated. So a country would at the
yeah, but let me be the devil's advocate. You're talking about the total cost to the economy, right? We understand that the elections in any case are due by the end of next year, that is October. And at that time, no matter what, you will actually have to spend this much money or perhaps more. So why is it that at this moment not holding elections can actually mitigate that kind of a crisis? And whether you think that the economy is going to take a U-turn within these months?
Not U-turn, but I think I am a pragmatic person when I talk about the economy of my Pakistan, and I think it will little bit improve with the passage of time. Not, of course, it would not be a U-turn, because Pakistan actually need more than $30 billion if we want really come out of the crisis which was left by the PTI government, 2 months government. So it will take time. And if election would go to happen in October or November, so we will have more almost 9 months
Yeah.
instead of holding election in March, if you say so. And secondly, if you talk about the politically side, I will, borrow some words from your intro. This is a question: why yesterday he had not already submitted advice to the governors?
But those are not my words. Those are from the spokesman of the federal government.
Okay, cited by you.
Yeah.
This is a mystery. On 26th November, I was present in his meeting in Rawalpindi, and he had given a date, then he had given another date, and now he is giving another date.
Right. And we are going to talk about other dates as well. Let me bring in Javed Jadoon Saab. Javed Jadoon Saab, your opening comment on this situation. And of course, it can be as broad as you want. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Farooq, I think primarily, if you look at the current political situation, Imran Khan probably had no other option but to announce a certain date for the dissolution of KP and the Punjab Assembly, because he has already played his cards, and there was no going back, despite the fact that certain PDM leaders were predicting that he won't announce any date as far as the dissolution was concerned. But finally did that, even while deciding the date that is on the coming Friday. He has bought another 5 days and probably is looking forward towards certain kind of intervention from the powers that be, or any kind of a blink on part of the PDM, because he believes that if PDM does blink, then probably he would be able to force early elections as far as general elections are concerned. But even PDM doesn't have any option other than to go for other options rather than announcing the early elections, because they have taken a very hard and rigid position vis-a-vis the elections before the mandated time period of the current National Assembly. So I think it is a kind of a catch-22 situation. None of the parties are blinking, and the confrontational mode they have adopted is probably gone too far. Economy really taking the very serious hit. Every indicator is going down. So I think it is important for both the camps, the ruling PDM alliance and the opposition PTI, to sort of pause for a while and look at the situation as far as economy is concerned, and take a few steps back and sit on the negotiating table, find a solution.
Yeah, but you cannot compel anybody, sorry to cut you, sir, Javed Jadoon sir, but how can you compel Imran Khan Sahab to actually come to the negotiation table? You made it sound a little bit fatalistic that he didn't have any choice. He could have actually come back to the National Assembly, he could have actually negotiated there, and could have actually forced the government to take and go for an early election. But that doesn't seem to be the case. You said that PDM was saying that he will take a U-turn. So what? Is he compelled by those statements that he has to actually, carry on with his promises that way?
I think, Farooq, it is extremely difficult for the opposition leader to take a U-turn once again, and then he exposes himself to a lot of criticism from the PDM, because at this particular juncture, he doesn't want to be seen to be buckling down and doesn't want to be seen as a weak leader. I think that is the problem, and even the PDM is suffering from the same kind of a notion that if they go back and they go for the early elections, they would be seen to be weak vis-a-vis the PTI Imran Khan's pressure. So I think the problem lies with the egos, and problem lies with the perceptions situation, because both the camps believe that if they back down right now, they would be seen politically weak.
Right, and that is quite an interesting thing. Imran Khan Sahab thinks that he is on the winning spree, so at that moment even a little bit of dent might not actually affect his chances. We are going to talk about that as well, but let me bring in Barrister Chattha. Barrister Saab, let me first of all ask you, what happens on 23rd? and what legal recourse does the federal ruling coalition have in these provinces?
If Imran Khan goes for dissolution of assemblies, then most probably the federal government has the option either to impose governor rule or either to file no confidence movement against the chief minister. I think.
No, no, hang on.
It is most
One step back, sir. Let me ask you, how does it proceed on 23rd? If Imran Khan Saab's chief ministers from the, Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa decide to send the summary, how does it, legally speaking, translate into action? What happens then?
Well, it will simply be advised by the chief minister to the concerned governor to dissolve the assembly, and governor is bound to accept that summary, and the assemblies will be dissolved then and there. That and the notification will be issued. I think that is a very simple legal procedure.
So the governor's role is basically of a post office. Is it what you're saying?
Yes, I think Constitution is very clear on this, and the courts have also iterated a number of judgments that governor or the president has, would say, has an assenting role to play in all these, I would say, legal options.
Okay. Is there a chance that if that happens, it ends up in the courts?
Well, that I think that seems to be more probable because the federal government does not want assemblies to be dissolved. Most probably, they will file no confidence motion against the chief ministers, and in that case, I think it will be the courts that will determine the fate of the assemblies, because the governors in both the provinces are in favor of the federal government, or they represent the federal government.
Yeah.
So I think it is more probable that the governors will refuse to accept on the pretext that because the no confidence motions are already have been filed against the chief minister, so the assemblies cannot be dissolved.
Right. Chhatha Sahab, Barrister Sahab, why is it that the opposition coalition has not actually tabled this no confidence motion in either of the assemblies so far?
Pitavi Sahab, I think that there is a confusion in both the camps. I think opposition is also not clear as far as its actions are concerned. And the same is the case with the PDM government. I think they're also not very much clear what is going to happen or what should have happened. So I think things have taken a turn where both the parties are confused as to the outcome. So the best solution, in my view, to save the country from the constitutional deadlock is to sit on table and negotiate the terms which are acceptable to both the parties.
Yeah, but that is a good idea, but that essentially is not something that we have seen in the past 6-7 months. And I wouldn't, for that matter, keep my fingers crossed, because we haven't seen any proof that that might be the case. Let me come back to you, Ikrar Sahab. Let me ask you very humbly that if I've been listening to pundits also who have been saying that a vote of confidence is possible, and now Chaudhry Pervez Ilahi has won because there is enough gap to bring in that kind of a solution. Why is it that the PDM coalition has not brought or tabled that vote of no confidence? Is it not true that we keep on expecting a lot, but they take their sweet time, and then we end up in some kind of constitutional crisis no matter what?
First of all, I think there would be no constitutional crisis if assemblies of two provinces are dissolved. That would be according to the constitution. I mean, as Mr. Saab has already mentioned, there is a very clear constitution very clear.
No, but he pointed out a scenario. Let me qualify that as well.
Let me.
He very kindly actually elaborated that if there is a vote of no confidence, and the governor says that because there is this disputed vote of confidence, because of that I'm not going to actually dissolve the assembly, and that can then end up in the courts.
I think this would end up in a court. This is my gut feeling also.
Yeah, but
not,
that
not
wasn't my
because of
question.
not because of the case. This governor would not allow, and he would sit on that. There are other things also. If you remember, it was 1989, I think so. And you remember the Pakistan was ruled by the 8th Amendment, and in 8th Amendment, the then President and his agents in provinces, they called governors, they had a power to dissolve provincial as well as National Assembly. I am talking about the 8th Amendment, much before the 14th Amendment.
Yeah.
Balochistan Assembly was dissolved by the governor, and B. Zafrullah Khan Jamali was
the chief minister.
Appointed as the interim or caretaker chief minister. Then a number of member of provincial assembly went to the Balochistan High Court, and High Court reverted the decision, and the assembly was restored. And I if my memory is not very weak, I remember the court observed that assembly cannot be dissolved by the whims and the desire of a single person.
Right.
And even let me
that is true. But you are talking about ages ago, when there was no 13th Amendment, when there was
I'm coming to the point.
no 18th Amendment.
No, let me complete my even the chief minister, referring to the original constitution, even the chief minister wishes to dissolve the assembly, it first should go to the house for that to get a consent, and then he can dissolve the assembly.
Okay.
So let me. This is it can be used as a precedent.
Or if that
and
happens,
you ask me
hang on.
Yeah.
If that happens, that they take the vote to the provincial assemblies, do you think there's going to be some upset there?
No, I will first come to your question. You ask me
why they
are waiting for placing the vote of no confidence against him.
Yeah,
then I will come to this point.
Because there are examples of confusion even when Imran Khan Sahib was being removed, because instead of first removing the speaker, deputy speaker, they went for the prime minister, and the speaker created a lot of problem.
Yeah, this was I can understand their very calculated move, because first they wanted to remove the prime minister because they knew that if they will fix themselves in the provincial assemblies or even in the center against the speaker, there will be many powers sitting outside the parliament who would start working.
No, but
so
for a week the crisis went to the courts, and the courts had to open up at night to ensure that there is going to be a vote of no confidence, right? So there was confusion, and you might call this strategic things, but with due respect to other pundits, it appeared as a sign of confusion. Do you think this time it is not going to be confusion in Punjab or Khyber Pakhtunkhwa?
I think there would be no use of moving a vote of no confidence against the provincial chief ministers, because what the Supreme Court has decided that not voting for the leader of your even parliamentary leader on the instruction of the parliament, if you are not vote according to the instruction of parliament leader of your party, you lose a seat.
Right.
So nobody is going to take this risk again.
Right.
So there would be no use for that.
Okay. So what
there would be a card in their hand.
Okay.
But I am talking about the ultimate.
Right, and they are keeping their card very
Yes,
close to the chest.
definitely.
As you are also perhaps closer, keeping your cards very close to the chest as well. You are not actually divulging what that might be. Jadoon Saab, by the way, you could any time if you so wish while we are talking to somebody else, you can also step in. Same goes for all the participants. But would you care to comment on PDM's strategy? Do you think that there is lack of coherent planning, or there is some secret, trump card or turab ka patta that can be played sometime?
Farooq, I see a lot of different approaches as far as PDM is concerned. Pakistan People's Party probably looks at the situation in a different way because only last night Qamar Zaman Kaira and the Interior Minister Rana Saab were, they had a different views as far as the resolution was concerned and the response of the PDM. Qamar Zaman Kaira believed that there shouldn't be any early elections, while Rana Saab was of the view that there is a division within the party, and a certain group believes that we should go for the resolution, accept the resolution, go for the elections as far as the two assemblies are concerned. And probably he hinted that ultimately it would be the decision of the supreme leader of the PMLN, Nawaz Sharif. I think I believe that there's a difference of opinion between the two major component parties of the PDM, and I don't see Pakistan People's Party agreeing to the dissolution of the Sindh Assembly, or same is the case with the Balochistan Assembly. But I think there's a kind of a difference of opinion within the PMLN.
Right.
Now, I think ultimately it would be the leader of the party, Nawaz Sharif, who will decide. Because, Farooq, I think going for other options like presenting or tabling the no confidence motion, I don't think they would be winning politically if they go for that particular option as far as no
Right,
confidence is
and
concerned, or
you
the
have
governance
actually
rule is
touched the
concerned.
nub of gist of the problem. That is very important, because the perception seems to be that one party is going to actually carry the day, and that's why the other parties don't want the election. But we don't have any numbers to support it. All those by-elections that were actually forming that assumption were held months ago, and we haven't seen any new movement. Is it not possible, if you just want to counter this argument of whether the ruling coalition is losing its touch, or whether Imran Khan Sahib is really popular, either you go for any kind of surveys among the people that we haven't seen of late, or then you actually repeat what happened in the previous by-election. You vacate 8-9 seats and just hold elections there, just to gauge what exactly is going to happen. Then of course all parties can decide when to hold the elections.
Farooq, I think as far as the by-elections were concerned, that was a different ball game. But when you go for the elections in the entire province of Punjab and the entire province of KP, that would be a different situation. In Punjab, I believe Pakistan Muslim League Noon is definitely a big party. They have got a popular support base there. They have got their own political cadre. They have got their own workers and supporters. That doesn't mean that if they go for the elections, they are not going to show, not, there won't be a strong showing on part of PMLN. But I think PDM on the whole is probably not a cohesive force right now. PMLN definitely in quandary what to do. But I believe that the only way forward, in my personal opinion, would be to go for the elections and test the waters as far as the PTI's popularity is concerned.
Elections
You
in
never know
Punjab.
what would be the outcome.
Elections in
Because as
Punjab or
you rightly said,
by-elections?
there are no surveys, no polls, and no opinions held
Yeah.
so far. And the only test would be the general elections. And general elections could produce kind of surprising results as well. They could go in the favor of Pakistan Muslim League N. So I think they should go for the option of holding the elections in the Punjab Assembly, and if they win there, then I think that would be the turning point as far as the tide is concerned, Imran's tide is concerned, and PMLN would be in a much more comfortable position.
Right. Let me go back to Barrister Chattha. Barrister Saab, I understand that when it comes to, dissolution of assemblies without any external factor being added, governor cannot stop the assemblies from being dissolved, and then that means that within 3 months there is going to be an election no matter what. But do you think that there is any legal impact on the Federal Assembly or federal government as well, or that can carry on without any problem at all?
I don't think so. There is any legal hurdle for the National Assembly if the provincial assemblies are dissolved, because the National Assembly has its own life and the provincial assemblies have their own life. So I don't think they have any correlation, except that the political one. There is no legal compulsion to that, so it will not have any impact on the National Assembly.
Okay. Why is it then that pundits keep on saying that it is going to weaken the federal government's hand if there is going to be an election that actually returns PTI to Punjab Assembly, and because of that at the center there will be some problems? Do you think that if elections are to be held, within next 3 months, and we have the same federal government, regardless of how things are, system is so boisterous that the result is going to be independent of any political interference, and that it is not going to have an impact anywhere overall in the National Assembly elections or general elections?
I've already told, I think in terms of political, let's say if you talk, I think it will have a very drastic impact as far as politics is concerned, and that will destabilize the political, say, landmark of the country. And I think the stability is very much needed in these circumstances, as we can see a surge in terrorism and also stumbling economy. So I think for the time being, all the parties should sit and devise a way where
hang on.
time can be given to the federal government.
Imran, sorry to cut you, Barrister sir, let me be clear. I think my question was not very clear. Imran Khan Sahib says that there should be a federal election, right? A general election in the country, and that the chief election commissioner should be replaced by somebody else. But at this moment, we are not there yet. And no matter what happens in coming days, if he dissolves the assembly, the power then eventually goes to the election commission to hold the assembly elections, and we have the same team. So is it not true that at least as per Imran Khan Saab's conspiracy theory, worldview, it is going to be a lose-lose proposition if there is going to be an election in 3 months?
Frankly speaking, I'm not able to understand your question, whether you are asking it in legal terms or in political terms.
No,
if you are asking
neither.
about the legal terms.
Neither. My question earlier was about the boisterousness of the electoral system, whether there is going to be any interference or not. But let me come back to the studio. Aura Saab, help me understand this mathematics. On one side you want, a new chief election commissioner. You don't get that. And then you're going to hold elections. Is it not true then that for the next 5 years you are setting up for another fight where you will keep on saying that Punjab's elections were also stolen from you?
You're absolutely right. And let me come back to the question you were asking for, if you allow me.
So
please. I've been stolen that question for myself. You was asking what would be the impact of the provincial elections on the federal government. Who is
federal government and next general election?
Who is ruling Punjab and KPK? Of course, PTI. So if elections are going to be held, and again, PTI gets the maximum seat for Punjab and KPK, so who would be the winner and who would be the loser? Nobody. And if PTI loses some seat in KPK or some seats in Punjab, then PTI would be loser. And remember, this is post 2020, November 27th, 2022 we are talking. This is not 2018.
Okay.
And what happened in 2018 election, I think there is nothing left which is not exposed.
Okay.
Everything
So
exposed.
can I add?
I mean, fighting.
Jatun sir, do you want to say something, sir, very quickly?
Yes,
Please go
yes,
ahead.
yes, I want to say something. I think the difference which we are talking about would be, as far as Punjab is concerned, the largest province. And at the moment, there's a coalition government, and Imran Khan and the Kaf League, I think even I have seen a couple of news stories that Chaudhry Pervez Ellai had a different view while he was sitting there when Imran Khan was talking about the interference on part of the former army chief. He has made a statement which is reflective of the differences between the two as far as the core issue of the regime change is
Yeah, but
concerned. I think
sir, sorry to
Imran
cut
would-
you, but it is more like, Trump's Republican Party. Everyone hates him, but they still agree with him and start voting for him. That is a problem here as well. If you disagree with the party you're in coalition with, you should actually separate your ways. That doesn't seem to be happening.
Absolutely. No.
Yeah,
yes, I
allow me
agree
to go
with-
back to
but-
Aura Saab, then I'm coming to you, sir.
So
Aura
this
Saab,
is,
finish
this
the
is,
thought.
this is not 2018.
Just one point, Farah.
Jatun sir, just a second, sir. Allow him to finish his thought, then I'm coming to you, sir.
Sure.
So what happened in 2018 I mean, spoken by everybody, including the former chief. What happened? And even today.
By chief, you mean army chief?
Yes, I mean, they said, army was involved in Pakistani politics, and then they decided they would not be involved. In February 2021, they decided and they withdraw, and they take a position of apolitical. This is not me. This is, he had been telling.
Why are we debating past?
No, I'm
when
talking,
yeah.
no, why debating? Because
Now
I'm telling
they
you,
say-
this is not 2018.
Yeah.
This is 2020.
Okay.
Even 2020, in 2018, when PTI got seats, this was not the PTI. This was the whole entire system which were working with the PTI. That is not working today. That is totally, you can say, closed down in February 2021. So getting seats now in Punjab and KPK may not be so easy for PTI that it had been. And then we remember the RTS was, broken down for more than 48 hours.
My
This
problem,
wouldn't help.
my problem, whenever we talk about any kind of, political manipulation, whenever we talk about these issues that somebody helped somebody to rig the elections, the problem is you are actually depriving people of Pakistan of the agency. And if you keep on claiming, I can say that if tomorrow a plane falls in some other country, that I might have actually adopted down, right? But then I'll have to prove how I did it. What you are saying is, of course, it is also in the ether, people keep on talking about, but why should I think that it is so easy to manipulate an election whenever you talk about general elections? When you see the box in front of you, it cannot be manipulated.
This is not me, this is everybody, even the,
Yeah, but
everybody.
it is
Okay,
different.
forget. Today's statement, let's mention today's statement of Pervez Ellai Saab. Even today he said, okay, he named someone who was manipulating politically, against PMLQ.
No, I was listening to what he was saying, and he kept
you
on saying that
understand.
Imran Khan Sahab
Yes.
should be grateful because the economy was being held by the former army chief. I understand
No. In that interview, he mentioned another name.
Yeah.
He mentioned another name. The man so and so was manipulating, and he was harassing PMLQ, and he was putting us to the wall. So you just imagine, this is not me who is saying.
Okay, you are talking about post-poll
Yeah,
rigging,
exactly.
right?
And Pervez Ellai Saab himself told in one of the interview to television that there was someone who was changing the nappies of Imran Khan. So this is not me. This is the whole everybody he's talking about today.
Yeah,
what happened in 2018.
but even then he was, despite all those comments, he was sitting with him yesterday. That actually should be a cause for concern for everybody, that even if you resent somebody.
I am of the view, I'm not talking about
You're sitting next to
support.
him.
No, I'm not talking about his support to the Imran Khan is withdrawn or no. I'm saying this is not 2018. This is 2022.
So, yeah, of course, but we already have calendars before us. We know that this is 2022
Yes,
and
yes.
every year is very different from the previous one. But Javed Jadun Sahab, my concern repeatedly whenever I listen to commentators saying that this force or that force actually impacted the elections. If you remember, in 2013 also, when 14 came and Imran Khan Sahab was in his sit-in, I kept on opposing the notion that elections were rigged. My problem is it is not easy to rig the elections as people keep on suggesting. Why is it that we keep on stripping the people of the agency?
Yeah, I think you're right, Farooq. It is very easy to level some kind of allegations that elections were rigged. I remember that every election, whichever party won, the opposition always leveled allegation that the elections were rigged and the system was working against them and in the favor of the winning party. So I
Yeah.
think that's it's kind of a deja vu. I don't believe that elections are rigged to the extent that one party is so heavily results are tilted in the favor of one party so heavily that it comes into power. Maybe a few instances here and there, barring that, general elections won't be rigged again. Elections would be fair, free, and transparent. Everybody is watching. The global community is watching. People of Pakistan are watching. So I think we should look forward to the political equilibrium, not the question of rigging or the otherwise of the general elections. Right now, the political equilibrium is shifting with every passing day. One day you see it is in favor of PDM, the other day you see it is tilting in the favor of opposition Pakistan Tehreek Insaf. Now I think right now I believe that the equilibrium has shifted in the favor of Imran Khan. Now let's see in the
How?
coming
How?
5 working days. I
Hang on,
mean
hang on, hang on.
the announcement,
How?
the announcement, the,
Can you
first the
qualify what you
announcement he
just
made,
said?
the
Can you
announcement he made
qualify how it
yesterday
has shifted
that
in favor of Imran Khan Sahab?
yes, because of the announcement he made yesterday that assemblies would be dissolved on the coming Friday. So let's see in the coming 5 working days what PDM is going to do. If they make
Right.
some wise decisions, I think once again they could regain the ground because right now everybody believes that he has walked the talk. Imran Khan was talking about dissolution of the assemblies. Nobody believed that. They thought he was just buying the time and he will never go for that. Even certain people
No,
believe
but
that
hang on.
Chaudhry
You
Parvez
have to
Rai would
look at
never.
the end result. If he has got an advantage in Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and he is throwing it away prematurely, should it actually go to his advantage?
I think that's a $1 million question and would be very difficult to answer right now because you never know what is going to happen in the coming elections in Punjab. If Pakistan Tehreek Insaf sweeps, hypothetically speaking, there won't be any dependence on Pakistan Muslim League Q, and this is I believe this is what Imran Khan wants because of
Right.
the blow hot and blow cold policies of Chaudhry Parvez Rai. He would like to have a kind of a government where he's not dependent on his coalition partners in Punjab. And if he wins elections in Punjab, the government he's going to form will
No,
be for
but
the next five
again, it
years.
is castle in the air. There are too many unknowns, right?
Yes,
Who is saying that he's
yes.
definitely a shoo-in to carry the day? Who's ensuring that he is going to
Farah,
win
Farah,
or carry the entire Punjab
Farah, it is all
assembly?
being done on the basis of assumptions. There is an assumption that Pakistan Tehreek Insaf could win. There is an assumption that Pakistan Tehreek Insaf will
Yeah,
not win to the extent that they would be able to form a government on their own. There is
right.
assumption that there is only a misperception that PDM has, or Pakistan Muslim League N has become unpopular. It could be the
Right,
other way around. So
absolutely.
everything is being done on the basis of assumptions. When I
Right.
think when the parties go to the elections, only then it will be decided which way the people of Punjab are going to
Absolutely. Javed Jadun sir,
take
allow
on.
me to go back to Barrister Chatha. Barrister Chatha, we have got last few minutes. Let me ask you whether you are comfortable answering a political question as well, or should we focus on political, legal
That
side
would be
only?
fine. That would be fine. That would be
Sir,
fine.
sorry, come again?
Political question would also be fine.
Right. Okay. First of all, because now it seems that we are, no matter what, we are in the election year, the quality of electoral laws at this moment, do you think that they are good? because earlier we saw Imran Khan Sahab actually rushing through some amendments to electoral laws, and then we saw this government actually come in and change that as well. Where are we at regarding our electoral laws, sir?
Well, Pitafi Saab, I think in your previous questions, you were actually asking about the constitutional protections which are provided when the elections are held in the provincial assemblies and the federal government is still is functioning. I think constitution is very clear on all these matters. That's why concept of caretaker government is there, and the election commission independence is ensured by the law. I think that Imran Khan is talking about the loopholes which are consistently being raised by different political parties. It is not only about the PTI. Other political parties have also raised their concerns whenever elections are held in Pakistan that some kind of rigging is done. Though the questions can be raised as to whether the concerns were real or
Right,
they were made
because of the dearth of time, let me
to
actually ask you another question that is constitutional in nature, and that is about expatriates, voting in the elections. If elections in the provincial assemblies are to be held within next 3 months, do you think that there is going to, the expatriate community, the overseas Pakistanis will get a vote as well, as the law stands now?
No, 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 no. Well, I think that won't be possible as far as the law is concerned. Definitely, Imran Khan would like to have the votes counted of the expatriates, but I don't think that is possible in the current circumstances. For that amendment in the law would be needed. And as far as
Based on that answer
laws
alone,
are concerned in Pakistan, I think that those are made according to the international standards. But the question is about the implementation of those electoral laws and a consensus in the political parties and of the state that elections in Pakistan should be fair and free, so that the government which came into being
right.
can solve the problems of the people of Pakistan.
Right,
In a manner,
Barrister Chatha, I'm told that we have run out of time. Barrister Humayun Sarfraz Chatha, thank you very much, sir, for your time. Agha Ikrar Haroon Saab, thank you very much for your time as well. Jawad Jatun Saab, always a pleasure having you on the show. Viewers, you have listened to our participants. But the last, aspect that actually Barrister Chatha commented on, because it was the idea of expatriate voting actually being a strength to PTI, was such that they kept on actually playing their last innings when they were in the federal parliament in that direction. And based on that answer alone, I would say that Imran Khan Saab's decision to actually head for elections in the 2 assemblies, especially Punjab, which is the most populous province, might be very ill-advised. I don't know why he's doing it, because the best thing at this moment that he could have done was to go back to the Federal Assembly and then negotiate once again these laws so that he gets what he wants, rather than actually throwing it all away just based on whims or just to prove that whatever I said was correct. He has already said that U-turns are good, so why not take another U-turn? This is beyond me, but we'll keep on talking about all these matters in coming days. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.